Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious here, back in the bunker. My bunker, I should specify apparently, so we don't think it's some other bunker. Well, I mean, as you saw, this is dedicated to David Dorn because, it's been a tough week for everyone, and amidst all of this, I found out that I have a niece who's sick and probably won't make it. Not COVID. I've got a sister-in-law battling cancer, and then my mom ends up in the hospital. And so I'm keeping it all together. And then I saw Mr. Dorn, I guess on Facebook Live or something like that. I saw him, bleed out, I guess. It's the best way to say it. And, he really reminds me of, so many people I've been blessed to meet in my life. And that really hit home. And that's when I went from sort of trying to distance myself from the daily news. I had to go deep into it, and I had to sit there and, really try to get the full story of every story. And that was difficult, and I think we're going to cover that. But, I got into this because I fall on both sides. I was once a Democrat. The last election, I've mentioned this before, I voted for an independent candidate. I've always hoped there would be a third party that really fit me. I realize that might be a bit of a stretch. But, somewhere in the middle here, we may not always agree, but we can get along. We can discuss things because we have common grounds. We've removed some of the bigger things, and now we can compromise on some of the smaller things. If we move to the middle and just leave certain things alone. If we leave certain issues alone. But, enough about that. But that doesn't seem to be happening because it's two parties, and one party seems to be just like absolutely mental right now. And we'll get into it a little bit more, but it seems like the left has declared an actual war, like a civil war. I mean, it's been going on 4 years with Trump, and the Democrats just haven't done anything, and Trump's done things, and we'll get to that later too. He's done things, but he hasn't had any sort of support. I don't know what I just dropped there. But before we begin, I just want to take a few minutes. I, of course, forgot to, I just forgot to set up my phone. I just want to take like a moment of silence, and just kind of pause for a second on everything that we've been through in, barely halfway through the year. It's a fucking meat grinder. I'm recording this on D-Day, and those soldiers ran right into that meat grinder. And this is not like that meat grinder. On a person-to-person level. This is nothing like that because, there are people out there who are somewhat unaffected by all this. But everybody on those beaches was affected by machine gun bullets. And they ran up the beach, and that's what we got to do. We got to run up the beach. We got to run up the beach for everybody out there who just got hurt by all this lunacy, this rioting, this looting. People have lost their lives now. And I think we should think about that. And when we do, if you really want to be on the militant side, then you should listen to one of the militant leaders and what he had to say about the side you're supporting or the side that's funding you. And then, in turn, the people who are voting for that very same party. Maybe they don't agree with some of these tactics, but they still vote for that party. And I don't know about that, but peace. So tough week. Had to really follow everything, and I was more into Twitter and Instagram than I've been, because I've kind of shied away from that stuff. I tried to honestly ignore politics for a while, because it was just I don't know, it was just getting old. I've been here for quite a while, and I've already seen a lot of things. I refuse to stop my video because I can't figure out what I'm doing. I will just do it, and that was not the one. So anyhow, I hadn't been paying attention to a lot of the social media, and it kind of dawned on me that maybe that wasn't. I wanted to see what was going on, because I would always get crap from people I know, and I'd just be like, "What? I can't really say that I know, because I don't pay attention." And after a while, I started realizing, there was some stuff hitting the fan, and I needed to know more about it. I felt like almost like I had to kind of defend myself, I guess, But I was really pleased with a lot of the things that I saw, because I saw who was out there doing the rioting and the looting. The organized part of it, the people who were stacking the bricks, the people who showed up with hammers, the people who had cans of spray paint with them. That all seemed to be, not from that area, running around with hoods on, starting trouble. I mean, it was all over the place. But then you saw the people of the community that was about to be affected try to stop them, because people were sick of what they were seeing, where the neighborhoods were being burned down and old ladies were sobbing because their grocery store was gone. And they stepped up, and in several instances, like this woman here who followed them around, confronted this guy, because she just confronted him. I don't know who was with her, but I didn't hear a lot of people behind her. But this guy says he ain't white. Okay, I mean, why were they looking for why were they looking for white guys in hoods? Where were they coming from, and how did those bricks appear, and why were there organizers? Why did those kind of things happen? But people defended their neighborhoods, and they defended their property, and some people died because of that. They died because somebody wanted a TV. And I don't even get that. It doesn't even make any sense to me why that had to happen. Organized. And then I see this list of celebrities, and I understand they have good intentions. They want to get people out that were protesting, but they're just going to get people out, that are in there. Not, I mean, usually, unless, it's a bad cop situation, most of the times when people are arrested, it's for something, and in this country, you're allowed to peacefully protest, and, in the past, we've had these kind of problems, and, in some cases it led to changes and it led to reforms, but not on this level. And it doesn't need to be that way now. Nowadays, you rely on public support, not, you make your case and people can hear it. It's not a matter of people having to tune in and see it on a television anymore. People can get the message in many ways, and, we don't need it to go to this level at all. And I understand how people feel. I get it. I mean, I've met good cops and I've met bad cops. I understand that. But this whole, brewing talk now about, defunding the police, it boggles my mind that the same party that wants to take away our rights to defend ourselves, whether at home or in public or wherever, put all kinds of limitations on that. Now want to talk about like lessening the police force. And I can see why Gavin over here would do that. Because here in California, basically everything's legal now. So, I mean, I guess you can do with less cops if you just stop calling things crime. I mean, that might be his answer. But in reality, it's racist. Because it's going to affect the lower income, the minority neighborhoods far more than Beverly Hills. And they fund themselves. People will just... most of the little suburbs and stuff have their own police force. It's not always, they may have to call on people for support sometimes, but they have a police force. I mean, they're not going to get defunded. There's no way they're going to get defunded. No, it's just going to happen in the inner city, and it's just all going to be, politicking. Not in the best interest of anybody. I mean, what they need to, if you take the case that just happened, maybe there's something they can do to avoid those kind of situations in the future. Maybe look at, certain training and stuff for, once you've got a guy handcuffed, trying to talk him down first. I don't know. That's, something that can be changed, something that can be implemented. Some new way of doing things. But defunding, man, that's just, no. You don't need more crime. I mean, unless you want more crime, you don't do that. And like this idiot, you don't call them killers. I mean, it's insipid to even take that particular position. I mean, that's just really immature, almost partisan type of talk, to just blatantly and just blanketly call cops killers and say you're going to take money away from them. I mean, who? Last time I checked, they are a thin blue line, and so there must be two sides. There must be good and evil, and there are people who are right down the middle. So, I personally think you give them as much money as they need. We need to make sure that we can solve murders. We need to make sure that we have money for different kinds of programs, different kinds of reaction forces. The resources to have, people who are trained to do certain things to affect certain arrests, for example. They need that. But if you strip that away from the budget, it's not going to affect those suburbs. It's going to affect, a certain segment of the population. And that's the segment that they're trying to appeal to. And they're going to make it harder on them. And I think everybody knows that. But I think it's one of those cases where it's more frightening that somebody's even talking about that. I mean, that's just moronic stuff. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go now. I've lost my place. This is awesome. I am so good at this. Am I not? Oh, yeah. Oh, God. There's just so much going on this week. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I'm trying to build the case on what's going on. Oh, water break. Who's right, who's wrong, whatever. And it keeps coming back to Trump, and I'm kind of getting nauseated by it because, it's sort of ludicrous that it's being blamed on Trump. I mean, those are made up stories. I mean, like Malcolm X said, you know, they have a lot of power, the media. You know, they can change the innocent to guilty and the guilty to innocent. That's a lot of power. But anyhow, so after a while, I'm just like, all right, dude, like, you know, I'm, you know, saying, well, if he's such a racist, you know, why did he secure funding for, you know, the historically black colleges and universities? You know, why did he work on opportunity zones to get money flowing into certain communities? You know, it's just possible that by getting people to invest money into certain areas, maybe it would increase the employment in certain areas. I don't know. But he has great numbers. So I don't understand why, you know, if he's a racist, he's really, really bad at it. Really bad at it. He's not doing it any good. So that was my case to him. And I said, well, you know, what is it? Oh, it's too many things. It's too many things. You know it. You know, I don't want to list it. I don't need to list it. Okay, all right. How about just your number one complaint? You know, your number one complaint. I assumed, you know, it was going to be he was a racist, you know. That's what I was expecting. But then he says he separates children at the border. And I'm like, well, they all do. Like, if you're driving around with your child and you get arrested for a DUI, they're not going to put your kid in the cell with you. You know, they're going to, you know, put the kid somewhere safe and make sure that you're supposed to have the kid's yours, blah, 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 all that. You know? Well, what do you want them to do? And that was his only thing. And I thought we already covered this. I thought all of this was already exposed, that everybody knew about it. And that was his number one complaint. I mean, it's just insane. It's not even a real argument. It's just a soundbite that he picked up somewhere. And it's aggravating that that's what we're fighting against. Oh, Biden's the lesser of two evils. Really? That's what we're going to go with? See, my problem is, fine, okay? Fine, you don't like Trump. Fine, great. But you see a guy who is trying to profit off of things that he's had a lot of time to fix. He has a lot of things to answer for. You know? I mean, his comments the other week, I mean, come on. You can't excuse that. You can't just take the media's word for what Donald Trump is. You got to look at it. I mean, there's a lot of young black Republicans out there now. What's up with that? What's up with that? Because maybe he tried. Maybe he's not perfect, but he does instill a sense of, you know, pride in a person. You know, allowing us to, you know, feel good as an American. You know, that whole. All right. So, full disclosure, train went right off the tracks. Yeah, it's bound to happen. You know, you don't get as far as I haven't got without taking some risks. But anyhow, back to conversations with a liberal. My brother, of course, you know, he's got to chime in. And, man, with all of this going on, America is essentially under a terrorist attack. All over, places are burning, people are dying. Good people are dying. And then they're trying to pin it on another kind of person. What's that? So the left attacks. And what's his? When does he finally call me? Because he knows I've got him dead to rights. You know who these people are. You know, there's no coincidence that there's video of white guys purposely, and they're all in hoods. I mean, it's there. It's all over Instagram. I mean, yeah, you can show me other pictures of other looters, other criminals, other people who got caught up in the fury of everything. I get it. It wasn't all them, but they were instigated. They were instigated by one side, and his little punk ass calls me up, mad as hell, because you don't use the American military against citizens. That was his. He has a habit. You see, he's a bit of a predictable person this way. He goes silent, like a submarine. He's down here below the water. Water's my face there. He's back there. He's there. Anyhow, and then he torpedoes you when he thinks he has a torpedo. And his torpedo was that Trump was upset about what was going on. He's former military. I get it. You don't want to do it, but in some of these cases, this was full-on terrorist attack. So it's a bit different. I mean, neighborhoods have been wiped out. So, yeah, I mean, even the posh areas got hit. You saw the videos that are out there, $800,000 cars, $350,000 cars. There's one where I think somebody stole an $800,000 car and drives off, stops, beats up some other looters, takes their shit, and gets out of there. I probably should try to find that. If I found it, it'll be right here. But anyhow, that was his thing. We were under terrorist attack. And the best he can do to criticize Trump, because that's what he does, is that he was going to use the U.S. military. And I knew that was poppycock, as they used to say. And this Dingleberry's keeps going on and on about it until I don't even want to talk to the guy again, because it's just so stupid. It's just so dumb. I mean, here's 4 other times it happened. It's a last resort. People are saying it's a last resort, and that's why we didn't use them. And it's where's the common sense in that? If our civilians are being attacked, our infrastructure is being attacked, police stations, if our livelihood, if our religious buildings, if our monuments are being attacked by whoever was organized there, that's a terrorist attack. I mean, you want context? When they send in a group like the Green Berets, they go in and they recruit. That's what they do. That's a military tactic. You go in, you blend in as best you can, you train, you motivate, and then you fight alongside. And that's what these guys did. They stacked the bricks, they threw the first bricks, then they fell back and tried to let the community take blame for burning down their community. That's what I saw. I mean, I'm not saying on every single instance out there, but in some cases, I saw what I saw. And it's a terrorist attack. And we've got one side that's excusing and profiting from, and we got one side that needs to fight back. And to me, I want to be on the side that's going to fight back, because when we start talking about defunding the police, we've lost our freaking minds. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to everybody. Think about that, man. Right now, more than ever, the right, the Republicans, Donald Trump, needs every vote he can get, because we don't even know yet what they're going to pull with this mail-in shit. You know, we'll get to that at some point. You know, but we can't go around alienating people anymore. We need to start pulling people to the Republican side. You don't have to agree. You don't have to hang out with, unless it comes naturally. Then yeah, great. If it doesn't, I mean, you just stop. We need to clean up our act, because what we need to draw in the people who are looking for hope. That's what we need to be. You know, the other side is the party of empty promises. We need to be the side of hope. And we need to tweak our moral high ground a little bit. We need to tweak it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But that's why, you know, but it starts with yourself. Look inside. If there's something wrong with yourself, if there's something wrong with the way you're thinking, then change that. Because right now, what I feel like we're looking at is all-out war on America. That's how I feel. Honestly. And like I said, we need all the troops we can get. Copious out.